David, you played for Liverpool between 75 and 83. How was your time there?
Fantastic. As a local born lad, to play for your home team was always going to be a dream come true. I was lucky, I got off to a great start. I played in a championship winning side that in my first season, and it seemed to be success all the way. It was absolutely fantastic.
I mean, Man United now are sort of currently where Liverpool were at that time. Was it an exciting time?
Very much so. It was very new to Liverpool. I mean, they were pioneering, really. They'd had success, but they hadn't had as much success as what we sort of went on to achieve between 75 and 86. It was fantastic. Now, obviously, United have got the stranglehold on the home front. They're trying to break in on the European scene and win awards. We were lucky that we managed to win in both zones.
Now, Paul Scholes has been named as Ginger Power of the 90s. Do you think that relates to you in the 70s?
There's obviously the likeness. I mean, I was always likened to Alan Ball when I was coming through the ranks. Perhaps he's a bit more like Alan Ball than he was to me. I had long, curly red hair, and he's got this shorter fashion now. But I mean, it's great to see a redhead come through and capture the scene.
Now, going back to the 70s, you scored the winning goal, didn't you, against Saint Etienne? What was that like? I mean, what was the atmosphere like during the match in those times?
I think for most Liverpoolians, it's probably the best atmosphere they sampled at Anfield. It was a fantastic night all round. We were on the brink of European success. They were a major hurdle to get past Saint Etienne. They were a great side. I was lucky to come in, get a piece of the action and thankfully to score the winning goal. It's something that's been fantastic for me. It's forever on people's tongues. I mean, never really a day that goes by that someone mentions Saint Etienne to me.
Now, you've played in European football yourself. What was the transition like moving from this country to another country?
Difficult at first because I had to learn a new language. I chose to go to Switzerland. I thought that more people would speak English than they actually did when I went out there, but I soon realised that I had to learn the language. Once I learned the language, it was fantastic. I thoroughly enjoyed living on the continent. I also found that my style perhaps was more adaptable to the continental style. So it was fantastic.
Training and things like that like in Europe?
At that time it was very different to what I'd experienced at Liverpool. Liverpool was very basic. They play a lot of small-sided games and they don't really get wrapped up in the technical side of football, but going on to the continent it was very technical based. Every day was different and they worked on many more aspects of the game than I'd had at that time.
With European football, do you think there could ever be a European league?
I think we're seeing the thin end of the wedge at the moment. I think that UEFA have tried to bring in this 2 clubs per country into the European Super League, and I think that really is the start of it. I mean, there are far more continentals now in our game than ever before. People really get excited about major occasions. You've seen it this year with Liverpool and Celtic, United and Juventus. I think it does have a buzz about it, and I think ultimately it will arrive. And I can see one day perhaps even a World League coming about. I think that's what the public want. I think they're perhaps fed up with the mundane, everyday fixtures, and it would certainly bring the glamour and the attention.
We see so many European players who go on to be so well known in this country, for instance, and we seem to forget sometimes that we have some outstanding players here.
Yeah.
Do you think our players could learn a lot from a European league?
Definitely, I think it's important to broaden your horizons. I seen that when I went to play on the continent. It made me a better player, and it made me understand the game far more. I think that we did lose out by being banned from Europe that spell after Heysel. So I think it is important that our players get as much experience of European football and world football. And I think, as I say, the fans want it. Ultimately, I believe it will arrive.
Okay, David, thank you.